Well, October 19, 2020, and here we go again with Daniel, astrologer from Argentina, specialist for symbolism and occultism that I'm very much adore his work. And we're going to discuss about the next phases that are still very much stressing a lot of people, and we can feel the energies, including election in the beginning, until the end of the year, knowing, considering the astrology of what is coming for the 2021. Hello, Daniel. What's up?
Hi, Osher. Glad to be here again. The energies are really, really confusing for everybody, but let's try to make it a little simpler because we're about to hit a couple of weeks until November that will be still confusing.
It's indeed confusing with Mercury retrograde and in Scorpio and opposing Uranus. We are heading to get some help also from the exterior, from other people, also outbreaks of information and news that may change our plan and understanding. So we all need to get ready to new information that will trigger or will challenge our balance of what we know and what we thought it is. So
Yes, because right now with Mercury retrograde, that of course Mercury, it rules commerce and the mind and communication. In Scorpio is like a short circuit of everything that we try to understand and everything that it's Scorpio is the shadow, the cave to the underworld, to the world of the dead even. That is why we are at Halloween, right? In all this period until November, with Mars retrograde, that Mars is the force of action, we are like with no solution are going to feel like we are going into the, I said it, I remember saying it in the first video we made, that we're going to go into the abyss, and we are still going into the sensation of
free
abyss
fall
until we are completely out of the sign of Scorpio. That will be right on just on December.
I think that the
And
scream
on
of the
November we are going to like start coming out, but until December we are not going to be completely out, and it's going to be like some kind of a agony. So we have to like keep looking forward and
but what
not
forward?
get stuck in the abyss.
This is like a free fall in our energy, like wow, we are changing, entering to a black hole,
Completely.
and we are still, and you are trying to hold with the hands because Mars is retrograde, and now in the Vedic is in Pisces, and you're not catching nothing, and whatever messages and your mind is not functioning. You need to neutralize a little bit and to learn flying with this. And
Yes, it's like you try to you have to try to see in the dark. like you have to really understand that until December is like being in the dark. So it's like you have to get used to see in the dark. And during all this period, I think that a lot of people can even begin to have some kind of even supernatural experiences, because it's like the gate into the underworld, but really the underworld, like the world of the unseen. In fact, I think the other day I was seeing some video on some astrologer that was speaking and say that he saw some kind of apparition when he was making the video. So you can even start to having some kind of really kind of supernatural experiences even.
people having right now, and I also already started, a very vivid dreams. So
Yes.
I'm not
Yes.
dreaming all the time, but only in specific periods. And I will share
Yes.
in a moment what a dream, very fascinating one I had in 3 days ago. That
Yeah,
as
yeah, sure.
even 4 days ago, exactly as Mercury. I'm the representative of Mercury, which is retrograde in Scorpio now, and you are the representative of Mars, as being Aries, that is retrograded now. Both are personal planets, and when they are both going retrograde, we are just going to the depth, just going inward. So even sometimes it's not a falling like in the whole like of the exterior. It's about falling into yourself, into your
Yes.
soul, into your depth, into your shadows. And I'm telling you, some people are feeling with their ego, I don't have shadow. I'm I'm okay. I'm not having shadow. Everybody has shadow because you are not God. If you are considering God to be the center of the light or the sun, you have no shadow. Like during the day, this is less shadow of the trees and everything. But if each one is an object and the sun relatively or the source is creating the shadow of your own projection. So we are projecting, and we may see it in our daily events, different experiences, and by discussion with people that will represent ourselves. And we need to remember this is not any place here to attack the other. It's all reflection of ourselves and taking responsibility of our fears and of our subconscious that we didn't recognize. I dreamt.
Yes, that is the energy of Scorpio, because Scorpio is a sign of water, which means emotions, right? It is its polarity is um, negative, is the dark. So it's the waters, the emotions that are buried, but like is ruled by Mars, which is fire, is like that. Uh, is that underwater lava that is constantly bubbling up and bubbling up and bubbling up. And if you don't really take consciousness of it, it can really burst up into ways that can be really destructive.
Exactly.
And that is why Mars rule it, because Mars is a sword. And if you want to go into the underworld, you have to take a sword to fight the monster. That is why Venus is not well placed there. That still we haven't even have Venus going in there yet. So when Venus go in there yet, it's going to be really crisis, because Venus is low,
Ah,
and you can
the
bring the
stock
heart
market is falling
into.
with Venus in Scorpio, of course. And Mercury retrograde in Scorpio together. Oh my goodness. What is coming November? What November?
And in November, we're gonna have Mercury going direct and Mars
But
going direct.
but when? Exactly on the election day, stopping in sky. This is so symbolical, and the deviation of Mercury, the twins, and what we are seeing, the blue and red Democrats and Republicans in the United States, on all the splits that we are seeing between opinion of people, and the North Node is in Gemini. So it's very, very critical what the information after this entering into the dark effluves of control we are going to do. And this is a lose of control here.
Say.
I would like to share with you, you are good with symbolism. One of what I dreamt, it was two parts of the dream. And it was
Yes.
exactly once Mercury started to retrograde a few days ago. First part, I was walking in a tunnel, and I was speaking about a dark tunnel, a tunnel beneath the surface with a group of people that actually were doing some ritual. Then I'm noticing that they are doing things with shit, with dirt. And once I noticed what they are doing, like they are crazy, I started to separate myself from them and started to observe them and started to feel a little bit lonely watching on all those crazy people that I wanted to be part of them, but they are not really. And it was beneath the surface. And this is very much about the conspiracy theory also that are speaking about the tunnels that actually is connected around the world with kidnapping kids and for creating
Yes.
the drug for the rich and the devil.
Yes.
So this one, and then the dream shifted to another scenario. I was in a sort of a restaurant with an old friend that I know that is Gemini too, and I'm noticing he was speaking to someone, and beneath his chair, I'm noticing a snake. And I was scared a little bit, and I see him scrolling like this, like doing like, you know, his own round. And then somehow I took from my pocket, from my coat, a mouse, and I released the mouse to attack the snake. And I observed on this bottle that the mouse, my mouse, that I released, it's like I controlled it, it's like mouse of the computer, that is like in my hand, and we are in the ear of the rat, which is related, and it's intelligent, attacked the snake. He opened his mouth like this, stand on his head, and opened his mouth and neutralized his bite. And I was watching this. No one of my friends could look at this, but I noticed to the bottle that happened under his chair. Again, under a word. And the snake, which is very much related also to the scorpionic thing and the occult and the manipulative. And also the snake is controlled by the sign of Ophiuchus, where the eclipse is going to be in April 21st, in December 21st. So it was funny to see that we should be smart. I introduced it, like we are in the ear of the rat, that we need to use our data and our information and how we are controlling the things that are sneaky beneath us. And my friends haven't noticed that they have snake, they are sitting above a snake. And I noticed and came to save them, and also myself, from seeing this. But it's so crazy to dream in this timing about a tunnel, shit, dirt, and snakes and mouse. All the animals and the symbolism that are living in the dark appeared in my consciousness in a dream, and I still remember.
No, it made perfect sense, because a lot of things, a lot of times, people often ask me about dream interpretation, and many times it's like you start interpreting, right, in your dreams, the emotions that are happening in the astral, that are getting activated with the alignments of the planets, and also the energies that are being activated in your own natal chart. Sometimes you have an energy that you are not being aware, and with the transits, it gets activated, and everyone starts having some kind of a shared dream experience when a lot of people start dreaming similar things. I was actually having conversations with some people that are into psychic visions, and they were describing exactly similar things that you are describing, because we are like decoding in group.
Of course.
We are all these motions of the underworld. It's like really in the astral, a gate of the underworld is being opened, and all of these occultist groups usually follow these kind of motions, especially on this time of the year, because the energy allow it. And if you research, talking about that specific dream that you have about the tunnels and the ritual on the tunnels, if you look for I don't know if you have heard of this complex of quantum computing, that is the CERN, right? It is a very famous video that is called the Gotthard.
The what?
That was it's called the Gotthard. That is the inauguration of the CERN complex. That is the quantum computing complex that it is say where they are making experiments to create black holes, things like that. When in that video, the Gotthard tunnel, it's called the Gotthard tunnel, you can see that they made a huge occultist ceremony where you can see from the tunnel inside the complex into the outside a whole summoning of kind of baby from the abyss and demons that open portals, and it was public. So during all this time of the year, all this kind of thing get activated to actually, it's like people get, like you say, like you are a part of it, but not a part of it. It's like they try to bring these energies into the spiritual network of the people, but we just realize it through those kind of experience, like you have, like dreams.
Yeah. But in my case, it was, I know, because Mercury, I have a North Node, I'm a North Node in Scorpio, and Mercury right now is retrograde on my North Node. So it's where the things are entering even more to my conscious. But
Even more,
luckily, I was conscious to understand that I was in control against the underworld manipulation, that most people that I observed in the dream were ignorant. We're eating,
exactly.
speaking, doing things, and I always were aware, and even when we're speaking about it. So hopefully, but even just as a message to share with people, because what I saw is not for my personal life. It's like what is happening in the world, like showing they are manipulating us. There are snakes beneath us. Look what is below and go inside. And right now we are needing to get rid a little bit of our ego and our self-definition, because this is why Mars is retrograde right now, and its own sign of Aries, which is very, very important. I must to ask how you feel this, because you are Aries yourself, and your sun is in Aries, and Mars is retrograde there. How is impacting on your masculine side that wants to push things forward? Because it must to impact you.
I feel completely and absolutely without any energy sometimes. It's like, you just try to avoid it, but ultimately it's like you just feel it completely, like it just drain you. A lot of people that I was talking just felt like this, because it's and during this time of the year it happened every time. Like everyone that has a strong Mars energy in their chart, it's like I think you can even see a little bit. It's like
Impotentic,
I
in
just
a way.
can't really summon the energy to really, like, you want to move forward, but it's like you just can't, and you want to move forward
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
and you just feel defeated. It's awful.
Exactly. And this is the defeat of our ego, because something in our identity, and Mars is actually the activator of our identity, who we think we are, how we define ourselves to the public and to ourselves, what we are. And right now, it's a sort of a dissolving of your ego into something greater than you, that you could not fight God. Is like understanding that you are little. Now, all Mars people, and I know a lot of Aries people around me, that represent the masculinity, the power, the definition, and you are doing sport and you are strong. And then it's like, despite of all what I want, is like, I need to connect to the inner world of my emotions and of my softness and of what soul represents. And this is like Mars going backward to Pisces direction, to where actually came from, to the ignorance and sweet things of being baby. Before you are building all those dress of the ego, you are the son of this culture, we are this family, where all those definitions. It's like going back to the source of, let's redefine ourselves again. And it's happening in people. And the more we will accept this, we will have extra ability to connect with our real power. Because in Scorpio, you can find the treasure, the diamonds. Diamonds are not growing on the floor or on the high scalper. You need to dig very, very, very deep, kilometers inside of the earth to find the diamonds and the gold and all those precious metals. You cannot get it on the light. You must to go to the dark to find this. And I think that the more we will now allow ourselves to dissolve in our soul, in our softness, with the minimum ego possible, we will be able to find this thing that we were looking for so long in all over the world, and we will find this power, because Pluto is also can shift everything. It can take from you everything and can bring it to you with interest. This is all yours. I just wanted you to learn. But you must accept going in the dark and not resisting right now, because this is less oxygen, this is less light, and you are just let it. Don't resist. In a way. That's what
Yes, it's a great opportunity to really, like, really not take the fight outside into the streets and so on. It's really to, like you say, like making shadow work, like
yeah.
really excavating into the depth of the Scorpio is right there in right next to the heart of the galaxy. So it is the heart, right? And the heart of Scorpio is called Antares, which means
The heart. The heart of
anti-Aries,
Scorpio. Antares.
which means anti-Aries, which would mean anti-war. It is the opposite of Aries. That is why the energy of Mars drowned in water. It's below. So you have right there an energy that is telling you not to go to war, right? And
Specifically now in the Libra season, a little bit. Do balance a little bit.
exactly, we really are going into that transition, and that energy will be going, bringing back, not even on November, just at the beginnings of December. It's like from November, right after the next 2 weeks, that energy is going to start to coming back, but we are not going to see it at full speed until December. It's going to be like really everything wants to move forward, but we got to still
Let's
wait,
let,
wait.
wait a second. Let's try to bring it more body and form with speaking about the intensity of the election time that definitely could trigger many different events, and we're just facing another second wave. Even it seems to me like now the third time of Jupiter Pluto in Europe and other places. Israel just finished another 3 weeks quarantine. People are less fearful right now from the COVID, just trying to do a sort of a ritual. Let's stop and let's see if it's really helping. But how do you think those energies that are calling us to go inward and to do the shadow work, but is also working on government that actually right now, all the focus is on what was hidden. All the focus is like seeing the snakes beneath. So what do you think, or I don't know if you had a chance to see what is happening in the United States natal chart and the president natal chart. I did watch. With such energies that we are right now, that we are feeling that we are losing control on our mind and on our ability to act. And this is a loss of control. What do you think could be a sort of a scenario, or from the symbolism that you are following, if you came by any?
Yes, the thing is that what is going to activate the conjunction and the eclipse when we move deeper and deeper into the end of the year and with the election is that.
But before this,
Yes,
Daniel, I want to focus on the first two, and from now to the first 2 weeks of November into
yes, yes.
11/11, into November 11th, which is 1 week after the election. I think this is a very, very important timing of the phase we are right now. And the tension of the rally of the presidential, promotion and all this, and how people are feeling with the economy and with the confrontation of the virus and what is happening that is so confusing. Trump was sick and he's not sick at all. He's even more energetic than other people that are healthy. You know, we are seeing the lies. We are seeing the lies. Even Trump said in his last rally that we need to trust the boss, like pointing to God, that the mask is not real protection, showing us, and since the beginning he was against going with masks, but he is just showing, and you know, all the QAnon things there. We
Yeah,
need to
that thing is going
we
to
need to
continue
notice.
because Jupiter is very simple. We talk about it many times. Is the search for truth. And when we really went into when it entered the conjunction, it learns everything, and now that it's going to go back, it's going to transform it. So it's going to be all that, but maximize it. It's like all the energies are already set. They are already there, charged up, and the only thing that is missing is that they get unleashed. So everything that we are seeing right now in terms of election, on tension that is about to blow up, on leaks and truths coming out that are about to explode, all that is going to keep accumulating, accumulating, accumulating,
No
and
doubt.
with the elections are just gonna just blow up. Everything is going to be like the same chaos than before, but right now it will be like the control is going to be grabbed again. Like
I don't
we are
think
not going to feel
I don't think I understand you. I
like
understand.
you say that we are feeling that we are losing control. Well, until November, we are still going to feel that way. But after November, the first weeks, we are going to feel that we are going to regain control.
Yes, with the facts and with the ideas and with the certainty of what is happening, but it's still very worrying, warrioring energy in a way. And Mars and Mercury will continue being in Scorpio and Aries. And this is right now to gain control on those realms. We will continue being in the cave or in the tunnel, but suddenly we will start to be able to move their things. So it's about maybe to reveal major lies and truth, or still things that will not come to the surface. But what is you have any assumption of what is happening, what is going to happen in the United States?
So I think because of the programming that is really being shown in many ways and is being hinted politically in the news, it's going to be like really, really chaotic in the sense that all these militia groups that were under the surface and had already been like presented into the outside world with everything that is happening, is like when Mars get unleashed, it will be like that scenario of civil war, maybe, right? To
or
put all
revolutionary
the thing.
war, or
Yes. All that scenario, I think that is going to be like unleashed. Like, okay, all this theater that we were preparing is full unleashed to really put into question the election and so forth and so on.
because so far we saw in this October Mars retrograde squaring Pluto, then square Saturn, right? And nothing, some events happened in the world. And Trump got sick, but not sick. This is some explosion in Russia, Azerbaijan, Armenia thing. But this is still, things are in control of those that were in control before. And those activation should explode in a way. Like you take peel, another peel, and something will start to show itself probably as we are just entering to November, even as just from the 23rd of October, as the sun is entering to Scorpio, we will start to see the effects of what isn't shown in our TV or other things like this. But this is also will be related with financial chaos, because
Yes,
all
because
this show is
everything is opposing Uranus. So we have Mercury and in Scorpio, which is crisis, right? And opposing Uranus in Taurus, which is Uranus is surprise. So everyone was expecting the October surprise. Well, most likely is going to come at the end of October when the planets really make an opposition to Uranus, because Uranus, we have Scorpio that is hell, but Uranus is also the god of heaven. So we have really a war between hell and heaven.
exactly.
So and even like you say in the speech of Trump that was already saying, speaking about God, right, and the underworld. So that the scenario of heaven, Uranus against hell, Scorpion, is already being played out, but it's going to come full force economically, uh, in the streets. It's going to be more chaotic.
Yeah. And people are going to lose control when they will shut off any system, or so many people according to my models are already shorting and want to take advantage of what is coming, that I'm showing, projecting my through astrology. But I just told today in the World Weekly Astrology that in such energies, take measured, controlled risk, because even that you think right now that you are going to ride into this move, something unexpectedly could happen, that suddenly the person will not be able to even short the market or to take gains of it, or something with the dollar is happening, or any shift. So it's like also very confusing. So what to do? The person who don't want to have the money just standing, want to do, but it seems like the system and values that we are configuring right now is about to change, and it's very stressing. And it's very unknown. Both Pluto and Uranus, Scorpio and Aquarius are speaking about the unknown, uncertainty, and the fear and the unseen. So both of them are speaking with the what we consider manipulation, uncertainty, or taking new course of life that you need to be brave to do. So it's very much feels like more than chaos. It just feels. What do you think about things that will come from space? Because definitely that all the quantum computers and all the quantum mechanic physics and all those things, as we will move to Jupiter and Saturn will move to Aquarius, is going to be an increasement. We are going to have a great advancement in technology as we never saw before, but maybe it also will support the
Yes,
financial system.
yes. The thing that I think that it will come is some sort of like that quantum computing that they say they use in the stock market, in the higher spheres and such. Some of that is going to come to everyone. Everyone will be able to access some of quantum computing more and more.
Aquarius. Mhm.
So we will be able to really make calculations that will be even involving what we are talking about, but really calculating it in such a way that it will be like you can make super simulations about the future with your phone, or something like that. That is the thing that we really are feeling that is coming,
It's
and
like
that
time
everybody
machine.
really don't know what to expect, because it's something so big that we really don't know what to do, because we
Yeah.
just have to wait that it came, and we
Yeah.
can, so we can use it.
It's
But
like,
it will also involve, I think a lot of people with from this experience will also get initiated in all this kind of, of, of calculation with astrology even, and they will be able to do it themselves. And they will be able to calculate things with astrology that before they think that it were impossible,
that's what I'm doing.
because the energy of the point that we are entering, that is Scorpio, and then of Fucus. Scorpio is like we go into the dark. But when we reach Ophiuchus, is the Milky Way, is the great rift of light, is when we will be able to see, oh, now we can see, it's like we can see the future, what is coming.
Yeah,
So
going to
it's
be
like
allowed
you have
to
to,
say.
no, it's like we have to, right now, we are going to just repeat because the planets on retrograde repeat everything that happened before, and when they launch again, they repeat again. Everything repeats a second time. So we will be like learning the capacity to see the future.
Yeah, but not just to see the future. It's about, first of all, yeah, it will be more certainty starting taking control of what is coming. But the what is coming is also realizing that we were manipulated, that there were snakes beneath our chairs. And maybe the money that you one thought that he has suddenly is the, we will start to see really, oh, we were really were manipulated. We were really lived on in illusion. And what's the future from here on? That maybe people will decide that the cryptocurrency is the future, or maybe adopting something, or that the government will launch something that will be a digital crypto, or not just crypto. It will be crypto is cryptic, is like under
Yeah,
but it
yeah,
will
yeah.
be a blockchain sort of computer, or the way that people could access money in a more fair way. That is like, if we are speaking about the war between the heaven and the hell, so right now we are pretty much experiencing hell on earth. Even that some group of people are feeling that, oh, we had a good life, we are living in a nice neighborhood, but the majority of humanity are in poverty. The majority have no roof to sleep, and or sleeping in, I don't know what sort of bungalow in many places. And the majority of the world is not in the United States. It's in Asia. It's in the Arab world. And there are so much things. And maybe those kids that they are stealing are just coming from those places that people is like no value, as people get paid for $1 a month in some places. So they have no value. They can steal the kids, they can abuse slavery. We are under a very diablo demonic control living, and we thought that this is an order, that this is injustice, that this is a good word. This word needed to stop. This part of the COVID is part of the plan. Whatever should happen, at least no one is going, it's not a destruction of the wars we saw, but this is about stopping the system that actually was beneath, because right now also governments are losing control under this. They are trying to manipulate still to continue printing money and all this, but now it's already noticeable to people what they're doing. It's not logical. The economy is falling. How they are showing that the stock market is in all-time high and all those things. So we are going. Yesterday, I heard to someone that is a very interesting person. He's doing videos. He is Israeli, living in Canada, and he's speaking a lot about the Illuminatis and the power and what is coming and the QAnon thing. And he said that once the truth will come out, a lot of people will suicide themselves because they could not handle the corruption and the lies that we were basing our life on. They will realize that their most dear people were died for no reason, whether for war or because of disease, that actually we have solution to so many diseases that never exposed to the public because of the interest of the pharmaceutical thing. And all those things, like the truth will be such shocking that people will not accept how we really allowed and accepted reality that way. Something like this. And it's really happening, man. We are just in the end of 2020, and 2021 is taking us to brand new structure, and it's will be involved maybe with very big events, how people are really in a process of major change. What do you think?
Yes, yes. After this, it will be like nobody will be able anymore to really deny all the lies and the manipulation. So yes, if it comes to something so tragic as that, a scenario where a lot of people make a lot of drastic decisions, it will be starting to show from this week's on, and then I think that at the end of the year,
But
it would
just a second, the decision that people will make now are not good. They are going to be false. They are going to be rechecked.
yes, everything will be crisis, crisis, crisis. So the big shift will be exactly when really Jupiter enters again the conjunction. I think that will be the fight to really expose the truth. All the truth will be coming out.
11,
That
11.
not only it won't be just the idea of that these things happen in underworld. There on the streets, there on the cities, we just weren't able to see it, but now they will be visible to everyone. It will be visible on the street that there are a lot of people just it seems they are on the shadow, but they're just hidden in plain sight. And all this will be really on the streets. And on 2021, when just on December, already Jupiter start to cross Saturn.
But before, okay, but we need to wait for the eclipse to activate it all. The eclipse of the sun solstice of 21st of December. It's going.
And 14.
The eclipse is on the 21st. The 14th is Jupiter Saturn, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's the other way around.
Yeah?
I think it's like this. And on 14, we have the eclipse, right?
You're right. You're right.
At the next day, the conjunction starts, and 7 days later, on 21, the conjunction will be exact.
Exactly.
With the change of season. I think it's something
look,
like that. But that week is going to be great.
It's crazy because the 11/11, also some numerology. The 11/11, November 11, Jupiter and Pluto are meeting for the last time for the next 20 years. And in this crazy year, the truth with the corrupt will meet, will confront. And then Jupiter is coming to connect with Saturn. That will occur in 21st of December 21, and this known to be also a shift, the 11/11 and 21/12, which are very important symbolism number of the shifts and what the activation of November into 1 month after, 1.5 months after. So, wow, my models are showing very significant drop in the stock market, specifically during November. In the chart of the United States, Saturn is going to conjunct Pluto in the second house. The first time it happened, it was in February, end of February, March, and we saw this boom. Now it's happening again, ready to meet with Jupiter and entering to Aquarius. Also, Jupiter-Pluto conjunction on the 11/11 are going to oppose Mercury of the United States in the 8th house. Again, not just Mercury that is now in Scorpio, also Jupiter and Pluto themselves. And the Mercury of the United States natal chart represents not just Trump, but also the Federal Reserve. And in the Federal Reserve natal chart, I'm seeing Jupiter return right now. So it's sort of a completion of a plan of how to use and the dominancy of the USD and how it was working so far. And it seems that new technologies are going to be exposed to the world, even for financial tools, also for health, also for how we are behaving in general. Maybe also something that will replace the internet. That domain.
Yes, it's so hard it's going to be so big, the change. It's like when the internet came, right? It was so different that everything else that it was impossible to really predict exactly how one was preparing to use it. And when the smartphones came and Wi-Fi, it was the same. You really can be sure until it really hits. And right now, we just months, and from 2021, we really are going to see. I can. It's like accessing the is the quantum astral ethereal world in your phone. Something like it's so huge. Like we will be able to talk to spirits through our phones. Something like this.
Yeah, and that's why people suddenly are starting to study astrology and to be more interested in the occultism and realizing things that I felt all of the time weirdo since I was child, experiencing all this, and most of the people and in my family bullshit. What is this? What is this? You are very spiritual. And now it's like seems that is part the Egyptians all work with astrology. We are not alone. It's part of the changes of the energy and the consciousness. And I just showed.
I think that a lot of people are going to, a big truth that will be revealed for a lot of people is exactly that this is the kind of stuff that the government, the what they call the occult government, right,
The
has
deep
been
state.
using for a lot of time. All this metaphysics and astrology. Some time ago, I made an horoscope about the president here in Argentina, and soon after, very little after, he made an interview where he said that they made him a natal chart and bragged about it. So a lot of people were ended up being exposed to that the government for a long time used this kind of thing.
Of
So
course.
one big truth that will be revealed is occultism used by the government, and a lot of people is going to use it
And
also.
the medieval time was a very dark age timing. And what's the churches that actually replaced themselves to be Lucifer or something beautiful, God, Jesus, and all this, just cut the consciousness of people to the sake of the churches that were the government, where you needed to pay the taxes to, and stopped and closed all the universities in Spain and other places that teach astrology to not allow people to connect to spirituality that isn't Christianity or that nothing else is existing. And once we disconnected from the higher realm of access, the Uranus access, the heaven, we are stupid. We are just in the roof of what our teacher are telling us. And they are programming for generation, the public. And when I started the astrofinance method, it was for me like a sort of proving that even money is energy. And if I still developed it, I could draw months ahead the move of the market because it's all energy. And once more people, and I will be one of those roles probably that I will teach this in the future, that people could do those predictions and could see and to connect with the astral behavior to everything and to many things. And I think that also it will help. My next in my idea is to use astrology for health, how to heal people and to use their own natural cycle of the body and to predict different organism functionality, as I'm doing with the charts of indices that maybe not going to be value in the near future. So it's very interesting that all those sort of, astrology is hidden for a lot of people. It's hidden. So if it's going to be revealed and people will start exploring it and will be shocked. So many things.
Yes, yes,
But not only
yes,
this.
because people will also look it up because the more the technology of communication advances, and that what is we will see from next year. Next year, everything will be on communication, will expand.
But that,
Cinema, we can really even imagine. And with the communication expanding, everyone will be even more confused because we are going to have so many tools to really create more and more illusions. And all the attacks are going to be so big on what is truth and what is not truth that really the sensation of time, it will be broken like this year. This year, really the sensation of time was completely scrambled. So people will be, their instinct is going to be like, okay, I really have to learn something to get some kind of order out of it because it is crazy. So in their instinct, they will be studying more astrology and metaphysics because a big thing about exposing the truth, right? And that you talk about things coming out of space. A lot of people were already exposed to that. There is a lot of manipulation even within organizations like NASA. That really a lot of people see that all the moon landings and all the space exploration is not really what they say they are. So they will be studying exactly that in the heavens, although we really are seeing in the heavens when we see pitch black, right? The space is black and we can't really see anything there. But the Vatican, like you say, the church has all the time, this is something that is known in the conspiracy circles, that the church have a telescope pointing to the heavens all the time that is called Lucifer, and it is picking up the infrared spectrum of the light. So even we don't see we see everything black. If we were able to see the infrared, the invisible light, we could be able to see that in the space, everything is full of life and entities on whatever, something that we really can calculate. But from next year, maybe we will be able to calculate and see that there is really
Or
some kind of
machines. Yeah,
spiritual light that
yeah,
is all time that we can access.
yeah. We could access. It's not saying that we will be able to see it like supernatural by our eyes, but we will have machines that suddenly we could see another things that we haven't considered to be real. Or people. The more you are going back in time, people are in the last generation specifically. People were more blind to the physical world. No, it's just this. It's just this. Yeah. Um, this is why maybe now Mercury retrograde, Mars retrograde, in those exact position is like lose control and lose your understanding, go deep, because you are going to develop something that is much beyond and better than what you are accessing right now. Don't rush yourself into conclusion, into decisions, into action before you are synchronized with a new timeline that is happening. Saturn is the chronos, the synchronicity, and meeting with Pluto in this 2020 really reorganized and resynchronize or ended the past synchronicity with something new that we are going to unveil once entering to Aquarius. But I'm still seeing that the world is passing, despite of the gate that will open, and not all people will access it on the same time. Maybe it will come quick, but still I don't know how this will be assimilated, maybe even beyond my imagination. But I still see 2022 also very not easy in the world. And considering the Jupiter will move to Pisces already, will give us a test in the second half of 2021. And this is just showing still of the confusion and of the involvement of so much information and options that people will be flooded in a way that could not capture all the revelation. We are speaking that it seems a little bit like surprising, like, oh, the truth will be revealed from December. It's like the release of the dam, of the gate, of the what's the name? Of the floodgate, that it just will start to flow. But this is why we are seeing in the first months of 2021 Saturn and Uranus square. And this is just illustrating that it will be a hard time to implement the new against the old. Also, it's a process. And I don't know, I just think that 2022 won't be will be still like the bubbling process of a lot of new material entering, but it's like very hard to absorb, like a flood.
Yes, it will be like having some kind of a new internet, really. So imagine all the information that we got when the internet just came up on the 2000s. It was like you have everything, every information that you want at the tip of your hand. And then on the after 2010s with the smartphones and Wi-Fi, we really can bring that into everywhere we want, because before that it was in your home with your personal computer. You have all the information, but in your home. Now you have all the information everywhere, on the street, wherever you want. And now it will be like having that, like everything can be connected all the time.
All the time, like going
Something
to the
like that.
future.
And it's impossible to imagine everything connected all the time. If you research one big fear that came out from all this pandemic was that the people was really afraid to get some kind of a chip injected, right? Because those plans are right there, and people really didn't know what to expect. Obviously, we didn't get that, but the fear is still there. But if you really research chips, there are chips that are really almost invisible. So you can put chips everywhere all the time. You imagine that you can just put chips like dust on surface, on any surface, and you can start reading information about all kinds of information in your environment. You can really map everything out and start reading emotions, reading biological functions. All that leap already exists. So that thing is going to be public. That is the big shift.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
if it doesn't become public, then it will be still used by people that have really not the best interest for the people. So it is going to be like imagine start reading invisible information in the air, then you think that it was nothing, and then suddenly it's some kind of invisible entity or something like that, because the technology is there. It just have to be unleashed.
Yeah, yeah. It's will be more than predicting. It's like you could look into the future, what is expected and what will happen to trade, because all the trading and all the stock market is basing on future contracts. And I'm helping people to see the future, to even know. So if everybody will access this, so what's the purpose? It's just showing that if information will bring that everybody have equality, Aquarius, and accessing something in a more equal way, and money will need to behave differently. Because a lot of the negotiation that people are convincing each other, buy from me, I will buy from you, all those things it's always like thing that is based on misinformation in a way sometimes. And when more information will be captured and everything, as you could read reviews on everything, and as you could understand what is inside of the kitchen, what I'm eating, that is not just what they're putting me on the label of the product. It's like accessing so much information inside out, it will be transparent. And when we are transparent, our relationship become different. Our thoughts and interactions for money, for businesses and for love will be different. But it's a little bit crazy, like a fiction movie that we are speaking, that is like ready to enter already after this crazy year, that everything seems like stuck and not going anywhere, and corrupted, and who will stop them and who will save us. Speaking about such a floodgate to get open in 2 months from here, and we are still get prepared to this uncomfort timing of the tunnel that we are right now. It's like really we are resynchronizing ourselves with another timeline, with another spiral of time. Um, Very interesting. Our life will be differently next year.
Yeah, we will see. how it all end up. But I think I still have hope that when Jupiter reach when Jupiter enters again the conjunction, crosses Pluto again, it will transform. The truth will transform the whatever you want to call it, the deep state, right? And when it start to came out, it will be some kind of a relief, even though the situation won't be completed, decompressed, right? It will be like we can breathe again. When Jupiter enters Aquarius, remember Saturn is restriction. This was a very simple reading that everybody made. Saturn is restriction, Aquarius is air. When Saturn was in Aquarius, everyone was in a level to read, right? But when Jupiter entered Aquarius, it will be like we can breathe again, something like that.
Yeah.
Even though the solution won't be complete, it will be like, oh, finally, we can start moving
But
away from 2020,
but
something like that.
I must to say, people are thinking, maybe some people will listening to what we're saying and may think to themselves, okay, so wow, oh, some hope here, a few months, we will survive this timing, and let's see, and I do some adjustment. But forget your past life, forget your past structure. Don't think that New York will come back being vibrant city with all those cinemas in Las Vegas and all the regular things, how you played money and moved money. So it's going to be maybe other events to trigger those things and to prepare the reality to what is going to be more justice. And already we are seeing a lot of people abandoning the big cities because we are going to connect with very high technologies, and distance isn't going to be the case anymore. And we're going to use another ways of energies that even cars not going to be the case anymore, or
Yes,
the
people were still choosing differently from all these schools from home that were enforced in a lot of places. I just find a lot of groups that here in Argentina, for example, are raising their children with homeschooling because I really wasn't aware, but here in Argentina, for example, is completely and absolutely legal, and you are completely supported by the Constitution to raise your child and from home. You don't have to give explanation to anybody. And a lot
yeah.
of people start to really saying, "Oh yeah, I don't want to send my kid to school anymore because it's an awful system." And right now with the mouthpieces that want to enforce on the children,
No, no,
who
no,
wants
no.
that?
It's incorrect. Even people will stop obeying to the structure of the syllabus of the government. People, the parents will be responsible to make the time for the children being with their iPad, with their whatever other technological device, to study what they will need, what is compatible, like a democratic school, that they will grow and will have understanding of math, of physics, and even more information that the parents don't understand. The information will be available, and all those changes of dependency, and Aquarius is very independent, it's free, it's all about breaking the structure in order to find a new better structure that will involve with the resources we are having. And Uranus is in Taurus, so with being self-resourced and more solar energy and things that we actually could already transform to energy. But if people won't awake, and most people are not awakening, people are just waiting, looking in the TV, thinking that Trump or Biden or someone else will save their day, and or praying to each one with his guru. uh, I believe that some important events are going to shake, to add extra ingredient to make this move into the
Yes,
new environment that we will decide voluntarily to adapt. I saying for 2 years already, people that will remain living in the cities, in the big cities, will be, as we considered, prostitutes and poor people. Like cities will be like abundant, like very low population will remain there, that will still live in those big monsters, but a lot of apartments will continue being empty. So what will happen with all those real estate dealers? And people voluntarily will go out to other spaces that they will be much happier and much compatible with the energy that we're going to face. So I don't know what will actually bring this. It's already, what I said already in the last 2 years is already happening with those reasons, always repeating, leave the big city. People are still depending because we are used to buy the supermarkets thing and everything is close to my home. Cinema isn't working anymore. Shows and concerts the way we did before. It's going to be an invention of a new civilization management. And there where also government's going to lose control. And for sure, we are seeing the energy is going to there. So that meaning that events by any kind are going to participate to align ourselves with the events that I can see, visualize with astrology and what you are saying also with the high technologies. Because we will not need to be in such a mini studio apartment paying so much in one desired city when you are not really in harmony or using what you thought. And yeah, we understand the message. But probably this month, until the end of this year, we are going to see all those triggers.
Yeah. It's really, really hard to, with all these energies, with Mercury retrograde and Mars retrograde, we can't really sometimes see even ahead, even knowing all these motions. A lot of times of the year, it was a lot clearer what was coming. But right now, with until we really, we have to really come out from Scorpio to start seeing,
But also,
to start seeing ahead, to the
but
clarity,
also
how to return.
Jupiter and Pluto. But this is already happening just the second week of the election or the election. You know, we can actually consider that Mercury stop in the election day in November 3rd, which is a very important number. You remember this conspiracy theory? They spoke about the 311. And again, we are having, and the 11-3.
Magic number.
Yeah. And now in the 11-11 Jupiter and Pluto meeting. And this is so much. And Saturn on the Pluto of the United States is recession, is a shift of the economy situation. But I don't think that people will, one of those scenarios, and with the Aquarius and the quantum computers we are entering, seems to me like a major reset button that will delete all the debts of countries and of people and starting anew, but people not to expect to continue the regular life without debt is going to be something that will prepare ourselves probably before this, how to spread our concentration in one place. But it seems to me like a reset that will be needed to apply the new financial system or new money. That it's very hard to explain, how to imagine, yeah, but I'm just speaking the astrology of this.
If this happens, is why the most likely has to be that week from the eclipse to the conjunction, because it's the most close in astrology that you can come to a worldwide reset. Other alignment like that is you have the sun and moon with the node, which is like that is a reset button on itself, and then you got the conjunction between Saturn and Jupiter, and is another bigger button of reset. So it is coming. It has to be around that time.
I just wanted to emphasize that people want, yeah, a lot of people, very rich people maybe will have less, but it's people that don't have nothing now doesn't mean that they are going not to have nothing. It's just going to do a new world order of order. This is what I can perceive here. Like this is a new justice or any event that will provoke. I don't even have the words to to use, because it's not a
Yeah, I
reset that
totally
people
agree.
will go to the big recession. It's something else. It's something else. And before people will be homeless in New York, as we saw in 1929, maybe something already will prepare them to move and to be in a better places or something. Well, we will need to be very in touch with the unfoldment of what it will come in the news and our insights inside of this Mercury-Mars retrograde and Uranus retrograde to unveil what is coming into the election and after. And maybe we could be more precise.
One thing that I think that will bring some kind of right from next year economy revolution, it will be the technology of 3D printing. I think that is going to be a really
Printing
market
parts of
that
the
will
body.
be able. Yes, yes, or even everything, right? 3D printing on things from the house, of electronics. So that I think will bring some kind of a people will be able to make their own business with 3D printings in their homes and things like this. So that is one thing that could be that we maybe could start seeing, because I haven't checked it in the stock market how that is going, but that thing it will be, I think, a huge opportunity, because people will be desperate, and and that will bring some kind of a boom in economy.
I even don't know how to say still about how to invest. Maybe it's a little bit of a conspiracy, but it seems that
No, no, no,
if what I'm
I
speaking
get it. I
and
get it.
what you are saying is correct, even the stock market or the way of investing, because how people are investing, putting dollars into the system, and all the system is continuing on the same currency war and all currency injustices. But if something is coming, as we are just introducing in the quantum computers, also the investment sort of idea is going to be based on something else. So maybe it will be more near to now, but I don't know. I don't see it continuing. We are speaking reset and we are continuing to speak about invest in the stock market. Like something isn't come aligned, you know? Like even the stock market would need to change the idea of investment, that maybe will be more real market. Maybe it will be connected to something more honest, that people supporting projects and not just about investing. It's going to be worth this and this, because it's going to be a system that will enable more people to access abundance in a way that answering to their needs. I don't know. There are so many doubts here, and let's see how the energy are starting to play out, because we are just entering to this tunnel.
Yes, yeah, a lot of surprises with Uranus
Yeah.
opposing Scorpio. Yes, yes.
Danielle, was lovely. I think that the video is already long enough to give interesting entertainment content for the public. How people can find you if someone want to take a reading with you or just to see the
Yeah.
contents you are giving
Yes, yes. My channel is Super Astral
in YouTube.
in YouTube.
Okay,
Exactly.
so
I deal
just
a lot with this, with the Great Conjunction and occultism, so it's easy to find.
just to look in the description of your videos and to find another ways to how to interact with you or to get.
Yes, yes. I have some pages, so everyone who wants to make consultations, they can reach me to them.
Amazing, amazing. Very simple, very through the platform of YouTube. I encouraging each one to check a reading with Daniel as well. and to get impressed with his access for things that not every astrologer is seeing. So thank you very much, Daniel. We are in touch,
Thank you,
surviving
Osher.
surviving this time.
Yeah, it's hard.